What's up, y'all? It's Alexiana and welcome to the Lexi Show. Now, what I'm about to share with y'all, it's just truly, truly heartbreaking. Hold on, that was bad. What I'm about to share with y'all is just truly, truly heartbreaking. It's one thing to do something like this, but it's another thing to do something like this when you're in a position of power. Now, judging by the title of this video, you read that right. I'm just going to tell y'all a story about this man. He's a black male and stuff like that. He pretty much is incarcerated. He was a police officer, but he has recently been incarcerated and stuff like that due to the fact of he would arrest and sexually aid 18 men in his custody. Yeah. We're going to get into some things, child. Like, it's one thing if you're an average Joe doing this, but to be in a position of the law, but the fact that you got a job involving the law and you do something like this, like, that's just insane. But we're going to get into some things. Now, big shout out to the Neighborhood Talk. I'm going to insert the Instagram handle over here and stuff like that. They have posted this and stuff like that. We're going to read and we're going to get into some things. It says, neighbors, this is sick. The guy's name is Marcellus Blackwell, a 36-year-old former officer with the North County Police Cooperative, pleaded guilty to charges of sexually aiding 18 men in his custody. Blackwell faced 18 counts of deprivation of rights under color of law. It was revealed that he deactivated his body cam before the ABUSE in his police vehicle. Blackwell faced 18 counts of deprivation of rights under color of law. It was revealed that he deactivated his body cam before the ABUSE in his police vehicle and recorded it all with his personal cell phone. 16 of the victims were handcuffed. The first victim came forward in June 2023, then more came forward and the FBI took over the case. Discovering that Blackwell had transported 15 victims to remote locations, including the rear parking lot of the NCPC in nearby high school. The videos were found on Blackwell's Google Drive that confirmed the allegations. He is facing a prison sentence of 30 years. Now we're going to watch this.
Counts of 18 men in court. As prosecutors read through accounts of 18 men in handcuffs being sexually abused by a former North County Police Cooperative officer. 36-year-old Marcellus Blackwell pleaded guilty to 18 counts involving kidnapping and depriving victims of their rights. It turns out he was doing this during a time we interviewed him for an unrelated report about officer recruiting. This was in 2023, shortly before he was accused of molesting men in his custody. A prosecutor read through each accusation, saying Blackwell turned off his body cam each time and recorded his acts with his own cell phone. Blackwell acknowledged his guilt without saying anything else. U.S. Attorney Thomas Alvis came out to speak after the hearing.
Sad day in a lot of ways. It is frankly disgusting conduct that you heard recounted to Judge Lanahan that Mr. Blackwell did accept responsibility for. We think of the victims today, and they were in a particularly vulnerable situation.
Blackwell was coming up on his trial date, which would have meant those cell phone videos would be played to a jury. So it's not much of a surprise Blackwell took this plea. He's looking at a 30-year recommended prison sentence.
Well, Chris, how was all of this uncovered?
One of the victims, one of the last victims, pointed out that this was done to him and it was recorded. So the co-op worked with the FBI and found videos on his Google Drive.
Wow, so was he committing these crimes at the police station?
In his car, and part of the charges that he pleaded guilty to, kidnapping. And it came out that he took one of his victims to Normandy High School bus lot to do this.
Wow,
in his car.
Yeah, it is shocking. All right, thank you.
In court, as prosecutors read through accounts of 18 men.
Okay, child, y'all saw all of that, and let's get into some things. Like I had said, it's one thing to do something like this, but the fact that you're pretty much in a position of power, you're in a position of the law and stuff like that, the fact that you would do this and you're in a position of the law, that is beyond disgusting. Like, I always say, if you have a job that involves the law, no matter if you're a police officer, a lawyer, a judge, whatever the case may be, you have to skate on thin ice, because if you don't, one false move, you're out the door. And especially being a black man or a black woman in a position of the law, like, one false move, you're out of there. Like, it makes you wonder, and we're not talking about just this Marcellus Blackwell guy, we're talking about other people too. It makes you wonder how many other police officers have done this, and not just with men, but with women too. Like some of the straight police officers and stuff like that, like how many of them, some of the straight male police officers, like how many of them have done this on the low? Like, is he the only one that has done stuff like this and stuff? Like, how many of them have done this and have not been reprimanded and stuff like that? It makes you wonder, is he the only one that's doing this? Like, how many others have done this? And it's just like that saying goes, hurt people hurt people. It makes you wonder what went on with him in his early years that caused him to do something like this. Like, was he possibly SA'd as a child by another adult man, and now that he's older and stuff like that, he's taking that out on everyone else? Like, what was his upbringing like? Like, hurt people hurt people. Like, granted, that's not an excuse for him to do what he did to those other men, but, like, if that's the case, if he had went through something early on in his life and stuff like that, that pretty much, you know, followed him up into adulthood and stuff like that, to the point where he took this out on all the other men that he arrested and stuff like that, then I feel like he should have sought therapy because of that, and, you know, allow himself to heal and be a better member of society, and maybe be an advocate for RAPE. Like, if that's the case, if he went through something in his early years and stuff like that, and it somehow followed him into adulthood, he should have sought therapy and stuff like that, sought some kind of treatment and some healing and stuff like that, and maybe turn that into a positive and stuff like that, and maybe be an advocate for RAPE and Child M. But instead, this motherfucker used his powers for evil and did the unthinkable. And like I said, the fact you're a police officer in a position of the law and you did something like this, that's sad. And the fact they say he turned his body cam off to do that, he turned his body cam off and recorded with his personal cell phone, that makes it all the more sick. And also, I remember when I had first saw this story and stuff like that, I read the comments, a lot of people thought it's funny. It's like, honey, there's nothing funny about this. And I will forever say this too. Being sexually aid and RAPED does not just happen to girls and women. There are just as many boys and men that are victims of the same thing. There are boys and men that are victims of domestic beat. Like, it just doesn't happen when men beat up on women. Like, there are women that beat up on men. There are women that sexually aid men. There are other men that sexually aid men. Exhibit A in this video. Like, men are victims too. And it makes sense why a lot of men don't speak on it, or it makes sense why a lot of men don't speak on it and just bury it because of situations like this, because of being ridiculed and not being believed and shunned. And it really breaks my heart that when stuff happens to women, everybody want to run the war. But when stuff happens to men, shh, crickets, silence, nothing happens. They pretty much just get a slap on the wrist and just pretty much have to man up and deal with it. Like, men are victims too. Men go through just as much things as women do. But yet, some of us just keep that shit buried inside and just move on with our lives out of fear of being ridiculed, not being believed, and not being taken seriously. Yeah, men are victims too. There are just many men that are victims of being RIPED'd and sodomized and all that stuff, but they just don't speak on it. And the fact that it took 18 victims for this to pretty much, the fact that it took 18 victims and stuff like that for this to go public, that makes it all the more disgusting. Like, you think victim 1 would have said something, you think victim 2 would have said something, or victim 3 or 4 would have said something, but 18 men, like, you think after the first few victims somebody would have said something. The fact that it took these many other victims and stuff like that to come forward and say something, like, that just breaks my heart. And it makes you wonder why some of them never said anything or came forward. Like, I hate to say this, but did he somehow pay them off, or did some of them low-key enjoy it? I don't know, but it just makes me wonder why nobody else came forward sooner to put this monster behind bars. And also it makes you wonder, like, it makes you wonder not only about his upbringing, but it makes you wonder, like, is this dude down low trade? Like, why not go onto one of these gay dating apps like Grindr or Jack or something like that and get you a consenting male that's willing to bend it over for you, as opposed to just detaining someone and doing that against their will. Like, come on, man. There's a whole world of male booty out there that you can bend over. There's motherfuckers out here that are bending over for free, me included. You don't have to just detain somebody and do it against their will. Like, you can go on Jack, you can go on Grindr, all these other gay male dating websites and get you a dude that's willing to bend it over for nothing. You ain't gotta detain someone and hold them against their will. Like, it makes you wonder, like, is he DL trade and afraid to admit that he's gay, and he's pretty much doing this to live out a fantasy that he's afraid to live out? Like, that's what I'm wondering. And even if he was doing this to women, like, bro, come on, man, there's adults out here that's willing to give it up for nothing. You ain't gotta detain someone and hold them against their will. You easily could have went to a gay bar and hit on a guy, he could have bent it over for you, or went on a gay dating out like Grindr or Jack and DM somebody, they could have bent it over for you. Like, you ain't gotta detain someone against their will to make it happen. And just like with the Sydney Star thing that happened recently and stuff, it's shit like this that gives civilized, it's shit like this that gives civilized, openly gay black men like myself a bad name. Makes it seem like we do discussing shit like this when we don't. Honey, I'm the type of person, if I was a police officer and stuff like that, I'm going to do my job and that's it. I'm not going to detain someone against their will and do the unthankful to them. I don't do that. I understand the word no. Let's just say if a guy don't want to sleep with me, bitch, I'm just going to go about my business. I understand the word no. And also, it's like this too, like, you reap what you sow. Like, you said it's 30 years in prison, what you did to them 18 men, trust me, buddy, the same thing is bound to happen to you in jail. So I hope you ready, buddy. And plus, a lot of jokes in the comments saying he's skinny, strong too. Like, They might have a field day with his ass, I don't know. But yeah, that's just about it for this video. Like always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to start my social media handles over here, as well as in the description box down below. So feel free to follow me on those. So till next time, peace out.